The White Spider will declare that once the cathedral is closing to completion, she will arrive as a basically a state visit from the Skizral, bringing the many gifts of the Skizral people to further the peace and prosperity between the two people.
Certainly. Yeah. And beyond this meeting, of course, Elinari is going to stay for maybe a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Basically walking the caverns, looking at their territory, talking to some of the Skizral, making herself visible. We haven't interacted a whole lot recently, sort of beyond just the little trade that's probably going on sort of near the border.
Yeah.
Sort of travelers and such. But certainly, it is important to facilitate and keep these alliances going and invest some energy into it. And she does generally find it interesting to speak to this other ruler.
Yes.
She admires the Skizral. They're primal and powerful.
Yeah, they're certainly industrious as well. The artisans' quarters in the caverns are quite complex, and the craft of the Skizral are intriguing. This is not drow make, clearly, when you look at the things. Like they look alien and primal.
Well, as a matter of fact, Elinari would like to requisition some of the best silk weavers of the Skizral to aid in making her a new royal gown.
Of course. The Skizral would be pleased to supply the matron of House of Itharia with such a thing.
Will basically be me buying royal clothing for 200 gold pieces.
Yep.
Worth of the finest gemstones and silks and whatnot that can be found.
They will be woven to Elinari's exact specifications and desires, and it will be quite a sight. Such royal garbs are not easily come by down here.
Yeah, it's the finest and most wonderful that can ever be laid eye upon.
Indeed.
Yeah. She will not visit the Zan yet. This is basically her visit for the turn.
Sure.
Going here for a few days, then going back and returning to the other duties of taking care of the cathedral and the promotions and ruling, of course.
Does Rain Kalar do anything special while visiting the Skizral caverns?
Rain, after the meeting and everything, and Elinari going around talking everything, Rain will try and keep, Elinari within like an earshot all the time. But he'll go around. He's quite curious to how everything is for them. Rain is he's not as proficient as Rillanid, but Rain is also an engineer. He's very interested in combat styles. He's very interested in the way people live. He's gained an interest in religions, and he's very interested to see like how just generally about what they've been doing, how they how do they do things.
Yeah, well, to his mind, there seems to be almost there seems to be a hive mentality in the Skizral. Certainly, it all revolves around the White Spider and her like matriarchal power. So in that regard, it might not be as as foreign to him as it would be to, say, a dwarf. Well, when it comes to military issues, there are still clearly like a lot of soldiers around. Rather big and burly Skizral. They have big fangs and mandibles and other scary hooks and stuff with them. They still look quite formidable. They are probably, to Rain Kalar's mind, not really a field army type fighting force, more of a guerrilla tactics, hit and fade, and things like that. And probably pretty good at it.
How do they handle things like, does Skizral use stuff like armor?
Well, you can certainly ask. And when you do learn that, yes, the Skizral can indeed employ armor. They usually don't. But they certainly can in times of war. Like when they're going to war for real. They have the artisans, they have know-how, and they can certainly arm themselves.
mean, Rain would be curious, and just generally quite interested in how it looks. What do they make it from?
It seems to mainly be made from bone and like bone and silk plate almost. Finely crafted and fitted almost personally to each spider soldier, have their own set, so to speak. Leaders and others even have special runes and other things embodied on their armor to make them visible in a fight, and so people know where, so their soldiers know who to follow and stuff like that. Seems quite sturdy. Seems to be quite good craftsmanship to wrinkle our size.
Interesting.
It would certainly make them a tough target to take down.
Well, I was assuming that anyway, but
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, Rain will go towards our new capital, with Alinari once we're done.
All right.
And one thing Rain wants to actually find out is then, I mean, we do have the submarine, and just, so specifically, so in the hex with our city to start with, how deep is the water around that, like towards the furthest out part of the hex? What do you say?
Well,
that's in the book.
Yeah, you've gone. Yeah.
The city is actually the water is actually a bit down from the city. Like the city is almost built on a cliff, like jutting over the water. You will like, at least the cathedral is probably built up there, sort of overlooking all of it. But once you get down to the water and go into the water, it quickly becomes pretty deep. You're not exactly sure how deep. You can certainly try to take a rowboat or something out there.
We have a submarine.
Yeah, you can take the sub. Go down and take a look around.
Burn the valuable refined fuel on how deep is this?
Yeah, but basically though, if it's deep enough, would there be the underwater section of the hex to look at, or not?
There would not be an underwater section here.
Okay.
But further out, no doubt.
So for would you say this hex is like these ones? For example,
maybe non-coastal hexes would be ones
yeah,
that are deep enough.
Okay, so these ones.
Section.
Yeah. So anything that is not on the coast.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, seeing if there's anything out there is not the worst idea in the world.
Good, yes. You're just gonna make us build a refinery. There isn't even a refinery building. We're just gonna have to commission gnomes, build a thing in this space. Okay.
So
we love that.
So move the submarine here and explore the hex.
Sure, you can explore the hex.
Mm-hmm. Then you can keep track of the fuel you end up consuming, Dark.
Oh, it's written on there as well.
Yeah, it's inside the notes.
Thank you.
As you go fucking cruising around the ocean, be fucking coming out, come back into the where have you been? Oh yeah, doing useful shit. As the slaves fan his corpulence.
Yep, fanning his corpulence. All right, wonderful. Anyone else doing anything special?
Tristan would like to go to San.
Sure, you can go to San.
Rainbow Flim.
Hooray! Does she take anyone with her, or does she go herself?
I have a feeling she should bring someone, but I guess
Sakari.
That's true. Can I bring Sakari without everyone freaking out and thinking she should have brought someone else too?
We're
not really around to say no.
Everyone else is probably busy. They're distracted. Tarlin's not looking after you all the time. You can easily slip out, and he'll be like, "Damn it! Why'd she go?"
He can come if you want.
This was the perfect opportunity.
That's right.
That's just the one to take Tarlin on a journey alone down the road.
Steal all of the kisses, all of them.
Sure, he can come if he wants.
All right, he will join
Slacking
Trislin.
off, eh?
Yeah, he said that he hasn't traveled down to Xan ever actually, so he will quite like to see the city.
Oh.
Oh, he's not gonna look forward to that.
Oh, but as long as Trislin is with him, he will look forward to anything he says.
And when we get to the city, like Tristan puts a gas mask on.
Yeah. Yeah, and puke rainbows.
Like one for you, one for Sakari, not one for him.
I'm not sure what I'm gagging more over, the phlegm or what what Tarlin is saying.
I thought it was the puking rainbows. But it's fine that I misunderstood you.
The reason for the puking is not the same as the content of the puking.
Wise words. That should be like
yes.
that should
Ancient
be like-
wisdom of Manica.
It is rainbow colored no matter why.
it should be like the royal motto for the kingdom.
Do you like the little baby spider next to?
It is very cute. All right, Trislin and Tarlin goes to Xan.
And Sakari.
And Sakari.
Road trip!
Road trip!
Let's see if I can move. Here we go. Tristan is gonna need to talk. I forgot the dude's name with the library.
The sage.
The sage. He needs to talk to the sage.
All right, sure. Let me find the sage.
Does the sage even exist on this map?
Yeah,
Well,
it's not been about in a while.
well, yeah. I'm gonna be careful because I know he likes to talk.
We might be here for a month. Might be fine.
It's not like Aiden the Old, but you know.
No.
Tristan will just shut him down. Bored now. Like, what?
Oh no, come, let's go. Oh.
He's gonna. Can you explain to me in less than 10 words what this means?
No.
Tarlin is going to be the one who's being punished for insulting the Zen anyway. So
I comes back to super pissed. Everyone's got to turn to Tarlin. Fight. He's like, what? Oh, damn it.
well, it's his responsibility.
Somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but sure.
Yeah, you have quite a pleasant trip with Tarlin. Actually, he is all of the gentlemen that he can muster, probably.
Probably. Okay. Sure. That's nice.
And after a week or so, you reach Xan, our admitted entrance, and you search for the sage. Then I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you find him in the College of Dreams.
Yay. She will walk up to him and say, Greetings, sage.
The sage will look up from all of his damn notes. He always cares around, and then he will look at Trislin and sort of squint, and then it will say, "Ah, yes, of course, the female drow, Trislin, I believe."
Yes.
He nods. "Yes, I remember you now." Looking over to Tarlin, squinting, and then slowly shaking his head. Looking over to Trislin again. "What can I do for you then, Trislin?"
I need some information.
"I see."
Being that I am a summoner, I know a lot about the planes, but I want to know more about a rift or rifts. And I hoped that you would have those sort of information.
"A rift, you say? What kind of rift?"
She will explain where this rift goes to the, what was it?
The elemental planes.
Elemental planes. Earth and fire, I think.
Or really all of them.
Well, the sage will listen intently, and then it will look as trouble as a mushroom can look.
Well,
And,
I'm troubled too.
And he will say, "That sounds increasingly dangerous, Trislan. If such a rift is indeed active below, that could explain the increased seismic activity that has been happening for the last year or so."
Well, the thing is, I have been trying to find out how close I can get to it, but it looks very unstable. Lightning comes out of it, and I really don't want to die.
Sage slowly nods and says, "That sounds wise to me."
So I haven't been able to study it close up and personal. But I want to find a way to close it.
Yes. Yes, to close it, one must first identify what actually caused it. I would believe that a key to closing the ritual is somewhere in there.
Well, I know who opened it, but since it was a human, he is long gone dead. Nothing but a skeleton.
Yes, well, it all comes down to exactly how he did it then. That needs to be figured out before we can decide how to best close it.
But most of his notes are nothing but dust now.
That is troublesome. He seems to think, I would believe that a key to closing the rift is somewhere in those notes, then. That would be my hope. Or in trying to reconstruct whatever ritual he used for such a task. It is no easy thing to create a permanent gate between two planes. A rift between all of them, as you describe, is something of a cataclysmic event. It is, to me, somewhat amazing that it didn't go more out of control than it did.
Well, it's bad enough. Fire elemental has showed up and earthquakes has happened.
Yes, we have seen those as well. Many of our people have died fighting these things. For now, it seems to have calmed down, but we do not know when the next one will hit.
Yeah, I hoped your library would have some answers.
You are free to look around, Lady Trislan. Whatever we have is certainly at your disposal.
Thank you.
As long as you remain and study in the College of Dreams, you get a +5 circumstance bonus to whatever knowledge check you make.
Well, to make any knowledge about this, it has to be planes, right?
Yeah, planes or arcana.
+5?
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's a nice bonus.
It is. I would definitely choose planes. So, can I make a roll to see if Tristan can find anything about a ritual to close a rift?
Sure.
In the long hours of research.
Well, she's gonna take off her shoes and sit on the floor.
Tarlin has become increasingly worried that he has chosen the wrong trip to make.
Rainbows.
Not a good roll.
Tarlo will stalk the streets and find something fun to do.
Rainbows.
26.
Not a very good roll.
Well, Trislan spends a long time in the library looking up stuff, and to her, it seems like yes, you would need probably a very specific ritual to close it. If all elemental planes are sort of a rift between all of them pouring out here, that is indeed very unstable and very dangerous. The ritual itself is probably fairly complicated and needs specific ingredients, as has been discussed before. to do this. As she basically, there's no easy way to do it. Rather, you must try to reconstruct probably the ritual of the original casters. If you basically can reverse engineer it. This type of ritual casting is not something you normally do, and it's only done, if ever, by supremely powerful spellcasters.
Well, that means she has to talk to Rillinet to get the notes.
I guess so.
Fun, right?
Well, she knows Rillinet is not home or whatever.
Yeah, he's beneath his glorious, luxurious pavilion, designing stupid tunnel bullshit. Like
I just imagine this as like Jabba the Hutt's pleasure yacht or something.
You can't get the image of corpulence out of your head.
Nope. Nope.
Cantina Rillinet.
What?
But yeah, I'm actually closer in Duvet than I would be in Vavas.
Well, even if I did approach you now, maybe you don't even have the notes on you.
Oh no, they're there. They are
Oh,
there.
okay. Oh, okay.
Not leaving those at home for some thief to go, ooh, what's this? Spirit them off.
I think
See,
your
blue black market.
room is covered in flypaper, so...
Just open up, just bell nets all over the place. Like, oh,
It
this
is
is
like
a pain to clean up. Oh,
it's like
bottomless
this is what he did with the money.
Yep.
Turn them into flypaper.
4,000 gold pieces worth of flypaper.
Well,
Not
I guess...
flypaper, it's glue paper.
I guess Tristan will next go to Vanille
Sure.
in hope that she can find her brother there.
Oh, I don't think it'd be that hard.
You just listen for where the shouting's coming from.
He's probably very visible and audible.
And
right.
covered in glitters.
Just, he's like leaning over like a table with all these like quills and ink. He's like, here, take this sheaf to Sandor.
Well, Tristan will find Tarlin and tell him it's time to go.
All right. He coughs up rainbow flame and says that that sounds like a good idea.
And that's why it's not nice to go to sand.
Next time he'll probably bring the gas mask.
Well, I guess. Well, Tristan will look for Rillinet. And if it's gonna be hard, her dear trusty Sakari has sent.
It's not hard to find Rillinet, trust me.
No, it's fairly obvious.
Grand pavilion, next to like the cathedral, overseeing the vista of the lake.
Where the party never stops. Rillinet's tent.
Well, Tristan will... Are you in your tent?
No, it's a fucking pavilion. It's like wide open. You've got like,
sides.
Okay. Well,
all
Tristan will
It's like a party tent.
just approach Rillinet and say, hello, brother.
Well, it's like, tilt his head. Tristan, what brings you here? Have you come to assist with the construction of the cathedral?
Well, next to Tristan, you'll see Sakari and Tarlin, so it's gonna be fun. Tristan goes, no. I need some information from you, or I need something from you.
Rillinet adjusts the funeral shroud. What is it?
I've been talking. I just came from Zan and talked to the sage, talking about how to close the rift. And he suggests the answers is in the papers we found. So I'm here to ask if I can have those papers to study them closer. Please.
Rillinet. There's like actually like a pained voice that actually escapes the mask and says, very well. He like leans down to the desk. Here they are. Leans back up. These are the notes of the fallen human Abrasarius. What I could collect. Notes written in the margins about the possibilities of performing this ritual. The ingredients that we need, which we have collected somewhat Fire Opal and Halite being the missing ones. Halite makes sense that we could find around that lake of salt. However, I have no idea where Fire Opal may be located. Perhaps the sage could actually prove himself to be useful.
Right. These documents, are they in common?
Yes.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, there are two. I believe Rillen speaks common, and so does I actually. So you can get a translator.
I get the I get the translated version.
Well, I don't know that I recopy the notes. Perhaps I did. Sure, my character has no life.
You have time.
That's right. Common is a stupid language for expression, anyway.
So crude.
Yeah.
It's like having stones in your mouth.
Here's the abridged version in Elven, in Ignan, and
Audiobook format.
The audiobook that reads the notes.
Sorry. That should be the complete version. I imagine that the staff of Abracarius would be involved as well. However, as you are aware, that is not in my possession.
I know. I just don't know how to get it from Metaneri.
It chuckles. There are ways. The least likely to result in a headache would be to ask. However, it should not be necessary for studying more about the ritual. You are showing great initiative. It pleases me.
Tristan smiles and thank you, brother. And she really means that.
Is there anything else you need, my dear sister?
Nope, that was it. And thank you for the notes.
Absolutely. I will return to... Looks over at Tarlin again. So why are you here?
Tarlin bows. My lord, I am escorting your dear sister, Lady Trislin. As per her request, he looks over to her.
Escorting, I am sure. Do you plan on returning with her back to Zan?
He looks over to Trislin. If that is Trislin's wish, yes.
That is my wish, yes.
Great. Have fun with the phlegm.
With the what?
All of the spores you've been puking up every time you go there.
Oh, yeah,
Multi-viewed.
I really meant to get a mask, but every time I go to San, I think I'm never gonna go there, and then I go there. It's a vicious circle.
Troll looks around. I seem to recall your dear brother Renkalar having one of those masks. Perhaps he has more. Looks around.
Perhaps he does. It is not my business to know what he does or has.
I don't think anyone knows what he has.
Tolling keeps smiling.
Is there anything else?
Nope.
Fantastic. I shall continue work designing the specifications of the Grand Cathedral which will serve as your future home.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Not yours, though, Tarlin. Not yours.
You just like almost see Tarlin like making a sigh of relief and looking down at the notes. Like, oh.
Although I can design something in here just for you, the castle might not be sufficient enough moving forward. You might want to be closer to Trislin so that you might learn better about the glory that is Agaris.
Tarlin seems to consider his answer for a bit, looking down at the notes, and says, well, the more quarters I can occupy, the better, right?
The more quarters you can occupy, I will keep that in mind.
Tarlin bows. A pleasure seeing you, Lord Rillet, as always.
Yes, what I would consider to be the highlight.
Tarlin then turns around to Trislin and says, I will try to find the Lord Commander and see if he has more of those masks before we set off again.
Sure.
As soon as Tarlin walks away, Rillinid reaches into his bag, hands Trislan his diplomatic... Take this.
His what?
His diplomatic breathing mask.
Oh!
Yes.
Tristan looks a little confused. Oh, thanks!
Which may or may not have been acquired with diplomatic money.
It comes in like a case, like
it's like fucking like gilded.
Yep. I need to look fabulous
Right.
wearing the mask, of course.
There you are. You may take mine. I do not plan on going there anytime soon.
Thank you, brother. Brother.
Absolutely. Your well-being is of great importance to me.
Zakari looks miserable. Oh.
Teary-eyed, like wipes a tear away. Like, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh.
Well, he's gonna puke rainbows anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. Rillinid looks over at Zakari like, I do not have one for you.
He looks miserable.
Perhaps my sister will be so kind as to dismiss you so that you will not unduly suffer. But I do not think she has it in her.
Zakari gives Trislan the puppy eyes.
Just sure, I can do that.
Alright, well there's nothing else. Your cathedral awaits. Gesturing at all of his papers.
Yep. As the whips continue to crack on the construction area. Yeah, Tarlin will try to find Rinkalar if he is in or around the settlement.
It would be somewhere near wherever the submarine is parked in the south.